All right, so I'm back with another strange, mysterious story. This time, it's more personal. Um, it takes place, well, I first learned about this story in the early 2000s when I was living in Arizona. So I was living in a city called Mesa, Arizona. It's close to Phoenix and Scottsdale. Um, uh, so Maricopa County, basically. Yeah. Um, so actually kind of forgot about this story for a long time because I was, well, it's because it was so long ago, and um, it was just a part of my life that I would like to forget. That was not a good time period for me in my early 20s. But um, this story is really strange, and it always really bothered me a lot. Um, it always creeped me out. It always scared the hell out of me. Um, so this story, it's about, well, I guess it's about a Native American like skin. I don't know too much about these things. Even though I lived around Native Americans in Arizona, I lived close to a reservation there. I'm trying to remember what the tribe was. I can't recall the name of the tribe offhand. Um, I even, gosh, I've even been in the reservation a few times, and I can't, I'd have to look it up. I'd have to look it up. If I saw the name, then I would definitely remember it. But um, so I don't know too much about like Native American culture and the Skinwalkers, I guess in particular. This is a story that's supposedly involves a real Skinwalker, which is, from what I've been told, is like a bad shaman, like the equivalent of a shaman or like medicine man, but like a bad one, not a good one. So that's how I've been told by various people in when I was living there, that I guess were more familiar with them than me. I've never had. I don't. I'll. So I have had this one strange experience, which I'll tell after the main story. But I personally don't know too much about this, so I'm just saying I'm coming from it, not knowing too much about skinwalkers and all of that, and shamans and all of those things, just superficially, just some basic knowledge, and that's it. So I'm basically relying on what people have told me about all this stuff. People that know more than me. So there was this. I can't remember if it was just a regular police officer or like a sheriff. I don't remember his position, but I do remember he was a police officer, a cop, who told me this story. Um, So they arrested this Native American man. Uh, I forget exactly what the crime was that he did. Wish I could remember that. Um, but I guess they told me what he. I guess they might have told me. Maybe they didn't tell me. Maybe they just told me he was a prisoner. So he was a prisoner in a jail. Um, and I guess he broke out of the prison, broke out of the jail, and so supposedly what happened was he jumped. Okay, so he jumped over this prison wall. It was a the wall was described as like pretty really tall and impossible for like a normal person to jump over, but I guess he jumped over it. I wish I could remember how tall the wall was, but like it was like tall enough to where a normal person basically couldn't like just leap over it. You know what I mean? Like it was really tall. So basically, he told me that this person broke out of prison and leaped over this really tall wall like it was nothing. It leaped over the wall like he was like some sort of like animal could like I guess skinwalkers can like transform or like gain the powers of animals like coyote, deer, things like that. So this person basically leaped over this tall wall as if he was some sort of like animal, like big cat or deer or coyote or something. So it was like a superhuman. I think he described it as like a superhuman feat, to where he like superhuman ability. I'll say, to where he just like leaped over this wall like it was nothing. Um, and so they went to try to apprehend this person in a police vehicle, car. So a police car, and so they caught up to the guy on a road. Now, this this is where it gets like I think this is the scariest part. This is the scariest moment here. So they catch up to this guy as he's like running on the road really fast, and so they catch up to him, and they catch up to him, in the car, and so they're gonna get ready to like come out and just apprehend him, right? And so their plan was they were going to speed ahead of him and then like cut him off, because I guess he was running really fast. He was running really fast, so they're going to cut him off on the road and then get out of the car and get him. That was their that was, I guess, their plan. And so as they were doing that, as they were speeding ahead of of the uh, of the guy, so the story goes that the guy sped up and matched the speed of the police car, to where they couldn't speed ahead of him. So he would they were saying that he was running at an impossible speed for a man to run. Now, I'm forgetting exactly how many miles per hour this was, but it was like an impossible speed for a man to run, even like an Olympic runner, basically. So I don't know, like this, they had to have been going pretty fast. I wish I could remember the exact, like mile per hour thing, but this was like, this is what scared the hell out of me. And then what happened was the guy looked over at the police car, the driver of the police car. I don't know if it was him or somebody else. There were two guys there with him. Um, there might have been other cars too. I don't remember. And the skin, I get, they call him a skinwalker. They think he's a skinwalker. You know the So they said that he looked over to them and smiled. Oh my God! He smiled at them, and then what happened was he actually sped up and was running faster than the car. So this is another superhuman like ability, almost like animalistic ability of this man. So he actually sped up and was running faster than the car, and then and to where the car could not like speed up to like cut him off. So he must have been going pretty fast. Like this doesn't sound like, a person could not do this, right? No person could do this. No, not even like a really athletic person. So there had to be something, if this is, true. Supposedly it was a true story, like, this cop telling me. Just take it for what you will. I know this is crazy. I thought it was crazy too, but at the same time, it really scared the hell out of me because I was thinking, what if this really did happen? What if this was real? What if this dude was like a real skinwalker and had some kind of supernatural powers to where he could, supposedly do they get like, their powers from like animals or like spirits? So I don't know enough about it, to understand it completely, but so what happened then after he sped up, then he ran off to the side. It was in the desert. These areas are desert areas. So he ran off into the desert, and they couldn't catch up to him then. They couldn't do it. I think they maybe tried to get out of their car and like maybe chase him on foot for a little bit, but he like disappeared into the desert. He disappeared into the whatever area he was at, and supposedly they could never find him. They could not apprehend him again. So they so that's the story. Um, and I don't know what to think. Like it's like I said, it is a really scary. It is really scary. I mean, it always bothered me. It always scared the hell out of me, creeped me out. Because I'm like, because I don't know much about this. That was the very first time I ever heard about a skinwalker. Like, you know what I mean? The very first time I was young, I was in my early 20s. Um, I had just moved, from I had just moved to Arizona from the east, from Ohio, West Virginia. Well, it would be West Virginia, I think. Um, at that time, I think it was West. I moved from West Virginia to Arizona in like 2001, I think. But anyway, um, what a really, I mean, it was, what a creepy story, though. Like, he leaped over this prison wall and was running faster than the police car on the road. Like, you'd have to have some kind of supernatural abilities and powers to be able to do anything like that, right? So I don't know what to think. I mean, it was a police officer that told me the story. Um, he swears up and down that it was true. Maybe it's not. I do find it to be a pretty fascinating story, though, so I wanted to tell it here in a video. Um, I don't know if anybody else has any similar stories like this or not. I've never heard of anything else like this at all. Um, I haven't really gone looking for Skinwalker stories, but nobody's ever told me anything like this ever before. Just that story. Um, I just find it. He seemed very sincere, very credible. He was like, excited to tell the story. It didn't seem like he was lying, but I mean, I don't know for sure. It just seemed like he was being credible. That's all I'll say. But very very scary story. I don't know what happened to this guy. Like, I don't know where he went after this incident. Like, it almost seems like he like didn't transform into like some animalistic creature, but like it seemed like maybe he gained the powers of like an anim like an ant like these animals that can, run really fast and leap really high. And I don't know. Or animal spirits, maybe would be more accurate. And can our skinwalkers said to like be able to transform into animals? That I've heard that before. And they can gain like superhuman abilities that are like similar, like with the powers of like the local animals or animal spirits. And I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Um, but I guess he like ran into the desert and just like they tried to catch up to him and he just like disappeared. He just like went too far, so far, not like vanished in thin air, but like he just like ran off really fast and they couldn't catch up to him, I guess. I don't know if they might have tried to shoot at him. I don't remember that now. Like, there was probably some extra details to the story that I can't recall now. It's been a long time, it's been it's been, over, I don't know what, over 20 years now. Um since I've heard the story, so um but it is a crazy, crazy story. I thought it is interesting to tell, though. Like, I would like to know: does anybody else out there have experiences with what they believe to be a skinwalker? Like this, I don't. I would like to hear more, like, um, personal stories. If you have anything out there that you would want to share, like, I'd love to hear it. Do you believe that people can gain supernatural powers like this? I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I really don't. But I did want to tell also but an experience that I had also in Arizona. Um, After I was told this story, it was probably a couple years after, maybe 2 years or something after I was told the story. So then now I have a little bit more idea of what a skinwalker is. You know, I wasn't completely new to it at this time. So I was outside of my apartment complex. It was at night, and this happened to me. I wasn't by myself, but outside when I was outside, I was by myself. Um, so I don't think anybody else was outside with me, like a neighbor or anything at the time. So we just had like this really small, like I wouldn't even call it a yard, just like a little section with some grass that with some like Bermuda grass that we grew, and because it's in the desert, so you have to like constantly, if you want to grow some grass in your little sectional apartment yard, you got to constantly like water it and stuff. So basically, that's where I was. I was inside this little outside sectional area with a brick. Well, I guess it was maybe more concrete, like a concrete wall that surrounded it. Um, it wasn't a very tall wall. A person could like you if a person walked by the wall, you could definitely like see their head or something. You could see a person walking by. So I don't even remember what I don't even remember what I was doing outside there that night, but I was outside there, and I happened to glance over to the wall to my right, which would be the parking lot. It would because the other side would just be other apartment, other parts of the complex. So to my right was part of the parking lot, um, and then further away was just open desert. Like there was no houses further away. There was a wall. There was a further wall after my apartment's wall, and then after that wall was desolate desert, dark desert, because it was at night and you could not see out there. There was no light out there to see. So I glanced over to the right at that area, and I did not see a. This is really scary. I saw two wide white eyes staring at me. So I looked over, I saw two wide white eyes staring at me, but I didn't see a person. Like I didn't see a silhouette of a person at all. I didn't see like a head or a face or like hands or anything. I just saw like, but I could clearly see two eyes looking at me over the wall. And so I jumped. I was startled, and I think I said like, "Hey," like really, really loud, or maybe like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing there?" or something. and and then what happened is it the eyes went down under the wall, and then I saw the silhouette of something running away from my apartment complex wall and going towards the distant wall towards the desert. I could see the silhouette. It did look like the silhouette of a person, but it just kind of looked like a shadow. Like it was really dark. We did have street lights in our apartment complex before you got to that wall, that further wall. So I could see like the silhouette of, I mean, it had to have been a person, I guess. And they were running towards that wall, and then they jumped over the wall. Now this wall wasn't like too high. Like I could have probably jumped over the wall myself. But he jumped over the wall that way, and I guess either like hid over there or like jumped or like ran into the desert or something. I don't know, but that scared me. That was scary. It was probably just it was probably just like some creeper. Um, but at the time I was immediately thinking of that story that I was told, like just because he climbed, jumped over the wall, I guess, and I'm like, oh no, I hope that wasn't a skinwalker. So I think it was just some creeper because we had a lot of shady people and crime in my area. It was like I'll just it was like a slum, kind of like a slum apartment area. It was not very safe at all. I won't say the exact area where I was, but like it was not a safe place to be, especially at night. But even in the daytime, it was not safe. A safe area to be walking around. Um, so I didn't see him after that. Um, Went inside though, called the police and said I thought there was a man that was trying to like maybe burglarize our home, and so this is really strange. So what happened after I called the authorities is they came out right away, like a whole bunch of them, like 20 cars and like a helicopter too, like, and they were looking for this guy. So they didn't they didn't say that they were looking for somebody, but I'm guessing that they were maybe they knew who they were looking for. I don't know, but I mean they went out of their way to try to find this guy, as I recall. Um, and this happened once before. Another a similar incident happened before, where a whole bunch of cops came out too. But that's a whole nother thing. Um, that's a whole nother story. Uh, Really disturbing story. I don't even know if I want to tell that one, but I thought that was kind of strange that they were looking that hard for this person. Um, but as I said, this happened a similar thing happened again where they did the same thing. So I'm guessing maybe it was a criminal, somebody that they were looking for. Um, but so I don't think it was a skin that what I saw was a skinwalker, but like I think it was just a creeper. Just reminded me of the story, and it was a pretty scary. It was pretty scary at the time anyway because I didn't know. I mean, he didn't. Good thing he like ran away from me instead of at me, right? But I don't know. I just thought I'd share that too. That was pretty scary. Um, but like, yeah, I guess he just like ran off out. He jumped over a wall and ran off into the desert. And I don't know if they ever found him or not. But they were definitely looking for him all over the place. Yeah, I was out there watching for a while. And they were still there out there. So, um, so yeah. But to the original story that I told, do you have any similar? Have you heard any similar stories like this or experiences? Um, I would definitely like to know. Um, and I'll be back with more mysterious, strange stories like this in the near future. Um, I also have been delving into like true crime and like disappearance cases. Of course, I do my vintage UFO videos and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you're interested uh, in following along, definitely feel free to do so. Feel free to add anything you want in the comments below, and I'll be back with more here soon.